Welcome back to Circle Time Club with Home CEO Academy. I am Teacher Brittany, and I have here my beautiful flower from earlier this week. Doesn't smell though. Let's find out more. Let's head over to Lexi for our welcome song. Take it away, Lexi.
Hello, welcome. This is the hello song. This is the hello song. I'm sitting on her hat. This is the hello song. It's a new day, and it's a surprise in every new corner. So I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.
Let's read a poem together. This one is called Everybody Knows I Love My Nose. Go ahead and do the movements with me and we'll get moving together. Everybody knows I love my nose. Everybody knows I love my nose. I love my eyes, my ears, my mouth, my toes. But everybody knows I love my nose. Everybody knows I love my knees. Everybody knows I love my knees. I love my thighs. I love my legs. I love the sun. I love the trees. But everybody knows I love my knees. Excellent job! Hope you had fun! Welcome back to our theme board. And today we're going to learn more about us and our nose. There are some pretty fun, amazing things that our nose helps us do every day. Let's start off with our first sentence. And this sentence reads, perfume smells good. Have you ever smelled a bottle of perfume? Or have you ever noticed your mom or a family member always smells really good and they have that same scent? That is perfume. Comes in a little bottle and you give yourself a little spritz and then you smell good for the whole day. And there's lots of different scents that perfume can smell like. And we also talked that there's cologne as well, which has a muskier smell, and sometimes men wear that. Our next sentence reads, we use our nose to smell food, flowers, and perfume. Now, again, those are all really nice smells, and we choose to smell them. We don't choose to smell those stinky smells. But did you know that your nose works with the taste buds in your mouth so that you can taste things? What happens is you put the food in your mouth and you start to chew it. It releases chemicals that goes up into your nose, and then it works with your taste buds so you can recognize that yummy slice of pizza or whatever your favorite food is. Now, have you ever been sick and not feeling well and your nose has been stuffed up and then you go to eat something and it just doesn't taste right? Well, that is why, because we use our nose along with our taste buds to taste the yummy food. Thank you so much for joining me at the theme board. Till next time. Now let's go over to the desk with Teacher Mariah for our Wake Up Warm-Ups.
Wake up, warm up! Did you know that there are some creatures with no noses? That's right, there are. Some creatures have no noses, and instead they use different parts of their bodies to smell the things around them and to sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some parts of these particular creatures. We're going to look at them really close up so we won't actually know what kind of a creature it is. Then we're going to look at it for a bit, talk about it, and then we're going to zoom back so we can see the whole creature and see what creature this body part came from. So if it sounds a little bit confusing, well, let's just begin and we'll kind of get a feel for it. So let's start with this first picture. This first picture is a tentacle. I wonder what kind of an animal has a tentacle. Do you have any guesses? Think about it and let me know your guess. All right, well, this tentacle belongs to a snail. There it is, the tentacles on its head. You can see it's got two long ones on the top and two shorter ones near the bottom of its head. But it uses tentacles to sense and smell things around it instead of a nose. Let's do another one, guys. Take a look at this. This is an antenna. It's a kind of a bluish colored antenna. Isn't that interesting? Do you know of any creatures that have antenna? Well, let's zoom out and see what this creature is. And look, it's a honeybee. Wow. Now, isn't it interesting? I sort of assumed that a honeybee had black antenna, but in this picture, this particular honeybee actually has bluish colored antenna. It's really, really incredible when you start to study animals close up, all of the different colors and shapes, and sometimes on some animals, some of the colors even change. Now let's try another body part. Okay, this, guys, do you know what this is? These are tentacles. Now, do you know of any creature that you could think of that might have tentacles like these? They sort of look like little suction cups. Well, I think those are all good guesses. Let's zoom out. Ta-da! It is an octopus. That's what we're looking at. And it uses these tentacles to sense and smell around it instead of a nose. Let's try the next one. All right, this picture is an antennule. And this particular body part helps a certain creature to sense and smell around it. What kind of an animal do you think this is? Could it be another insect like a bee, or could it be a different type of animal? What do you think? Well, let's zoom out. Ta-da! We can see that this antennule comes from a crab. So a crab has no nose, and it uses these antennules instead to sense and smell around it. All right, let's look at our next picture. This is a tongue. Wow, that's kind of an interesting looking tongue, right? It's a forked tongue. That means it's got sort of two prongs on the ends, and it's really long and thin, and it's red. Do you know what creature might use its tongue to smell? Well, if you said snake, you are totally correct. That is a snake's tongue, and it helps it to smell instead of its nose. Now, our last picture I think is really neat. This is an antenna. Now, we had seen before an antenna from a honeybee, but this antenna is from a different creature. Now, isn't it interesting, guys, that the first antenna that we saw was just sort of a long, kind of straight line? And this antenna looks sort of like a leaf, doesn't it? It's really, really interesting. Now, any of you guys that will be our future biologists, those are people that study animals, you will have an awesome opportunity to really learn about some of the incredible features of animals. So if you find, creatures incredible, consider that biology. Now, anyway, let's go ahead and scroll out here. Let's zoom out, and ta-da! We can see that this antenna, this really cool leaf-shaped antenna, belongs to a moth. Now let's look at this moth for a bit. Do you guys notice how it's got these circles on its wings? Well, those make it appear like it's an owl or something bigger than it actually is, and it's supposed to scare off any creatures that might be trying to eat it. So it's part of its defense. And it's just so neat. It's got some beautiful colors, and there's some of that beautiful orange, and it's even got some kind of furry, looking stuff on its back a bit. Moths can be very beautiful. In fact, one time I saw a huge lime green moth, one and one only time in upstate New York when I was a kid, and it was so cool. And if I can find a picture, I will put it up. All right, well, you guys did a wonderful job looking at our no-nose creatures today. I hope you had so much fun looking at those different body parts of those creatures and seeing what they belong to. And remember, if you're interested in learning more about creatures like this, you can go to the library and get some books on different types of creatures. There's some wonderful nonfiction picture books that you can check out. I encourage you to do so. Great job, guys.
Is everyone ready for a story? Yeah, me too. Let's go ahead and have a seat and get ready for story time with Teacher Ashley.
Today's book is If You Had a Nose Like an Elephant's Trunk by Marianne Dane Bauer, illustrated by Susan Winter. If you had a nose like an elephant's trunk, you could make it rain inside the house. You could pick up your toys with your nose. You would never ever need a snorkel. If you had feet like a fly's, you could walk up the wall and take a nap on the ceiling. If you had a tongue like a snapping turtle's, you could go fishing without a rod and reel. If you had jaws like a snake's, you could swallow a bowling ball. And if the bowling ball were nutritious, you wouldn't have to eat again for weeks and weeks. If you had spinnerets like a spider's, you could sail away on every breezy day. If you could change color like a chameleon, you could never be found in a game of hide and seek. If you had the legs of a flea, you could leap over your house with glee. If you had wings like an eagle's, you could climb into the sky. If you had eyes like an eagle's, you could peer back down and see an ant walking across the sidewalk. If you had a mouth like a mosquito's, you could get a sip of milk without ever opening the carton. If you had a tail like a monkey's, you could swing from your grandmother's antique chandelier. If you had a tail like a horse's, you could brush the flies from your friends' faces. If you had a tail like a porcupine's, the bullies would all leave town. If you had a tail like a lizard's, you could never be caught in a game of tag. If you had any kind of tail at all, you would have to cut holes in all your pants. If you had cheeks like a chipmunk's, you would never need a lunchbox. If you slept like a cow, you could catch a few winks while you stood waiting for the bus. If you slept like a shark, you could nap while you swam. If you slept like a swift, you could fly through your own dreams. But you have your own nose, your own legs, your own mouth. You can leap and run and crouch. You can hold a dandelion seed in your fingers, and you can lift a stone. You can smell rain, and you can lick ice cream. And you can see your father's face. You can sleep snugly in your own sweet bed. Because you are made just to be you, and we're so glad. I hope you enjoyed If You Had a Nose Like an Elephant's Trunk by Marianne Dane Bauer. Friends, thank you for joining me at my work table. Now remember, all activities we do at the work table need to be completed with teacher or caregiver support. Today, we do not have a directed drawing, so we will take a look at 2 letter coloring pages and then 2 activities. The first one is Q is for quail. We have a picture of a quail here and an illustration for you to try to color as closely to that as you can. And then the word quail to trace. Our next worksheet says R is for rose. We have a beautiful rose here. What color is that? That's red. Roses come in many colors, but this one is red. So your job is to color this rose to look like this one. And then you have the word rose to trace. Our next activity you will need scissors for. You will cut out these cards or have your teacher or caregiver help you with it. And you will play a matching game. Match nose to nose, eyes to eyes, mouth to mouth, and ears to ears. You can play memory. And then the last one is called taking out the trash. It says we throw out the smelly trash into garbage cans. Count how many trash bags are next to each can and circle the right number. So we have 1, 2, 3 garbage bags here. So we would find the number 3 on this row and circle it. Count the garbage bags here and count the garbage bags here and circle the number on each row. That was taking out the trash, face memory match, R is for rose, and Q is for quail letter coloring activities. That's all. I hope you enjoy completing these activities.
Okay kids, let's get moving with this week's action cards. Can you sniff a flower's scent? Can you blow your nose in a tissue? Can you pinch your nose and breathe out of your mouth? Can you flare your nostrils wide open? Good job.
I had a wonderful time today with you, learning all about our nose and sense of smell. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. So remember, when you go out to do your activities and worksheets, to have tons of fun and make them all yours. And remember that we love to see your work. Feel free to send it in. From everyone here at Home CEO Academy and teacher Brittany, have a great day. We'll see you next time.
You could be larger